Hi everyone, it's Kirsty back again, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make salt dough creations. So first things that we need is to make sure that we've got all of the equipment. So we've got our cup, we need a little bit of water again, a mixing bowl and a spoon to mix with, a rolling pin, some salt, some flour, and then for the very end, some cutters. Now, if you don't have any cutters at home, that's fine. You can always use your hands to make different shapes. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get our bowl, and we are going to get 2 cups of flour. So let's scoop it in. There's one. Pop it into the bowl. Shake this one here. Don't worry if a bit extra goes in the bowl, that's fine. Perfect. Right, so that's my 2 cups of flour in my bowl. And now we're going to need 1 cup of salt. Pour that into my cup. Perfect. And we're going to pour that in. And then we're going to get our spoon and give it a mix. Mix it in really well. When you're mixing, it will look like the salt disappeared, but don't worry, it's still in there. You can hear it a little bit. It's quite a grainy sound. Now that we've mixed all of that in, what we need to do now is get our jug of water, and we're going to slowly pour the water in with one hand, and then the other hand, we're going to keep mixing. So it's really important to not pour all of this water in, otherwise you're going to have quite a sticky mess. So I'm just going to slowly pour it in. And I'm going to pop it down and then just give it a good mix around. When all the water disappears, but there's still lots of flour and salt there, then it's time for us to add a bit more water. Remember to keep mixing. So this is where it starts to get a bit messy. Keep mixing it around and round. Once you mix it together, it should be a little bit more like a dough. If it's a little bit too sticky, what do you think you could add? Flour, that's right. So you can pop a bit more flour in if you need to. I need a little bit more in mine. If it's too dry and it's not sticking together, then you can add a little bit more of your water. So mine's looking really good now. It's looking like a dough. And now it's time for me to get it out and start using my hands. This is the really fun part. Now, to stop it sticking, it's always a good idea to pop a little bit of flour on your table and spread it out a bit, just like if you were doing any other baking, so that your dough doesn't stick to your table. Let's have a look. Can you see mine? It's like a nice big ball. So I'm going to pop it on the table, flip it over a bit, and get a bit more flour on it. Perfect. Now, what's really important is that you use your hands and really squeeze and knead your salt dough. So kneading's where you get your hand, clench your fist like this, and you knead it in, push your knuckles in. If it starts to stick to your fingers, you can pop a bit more flour again on the table and just blend it in. And you're going to keep doing this until your dough's not sticky anymore and your arms have started to hurt because you've been kneading your dough so well. So keep going for a little bit longer. Now we've finished kneading our dough, what do we need to do now? We need to roll it out into the shape that we want to make. Now there are a few different things you could do, but what we do need to do is we're going to get our rolling pin. Here's my rolling pin, And I'm gonna roll my dough backwards and forwards. It's a bit like being a baker, isn't it? Then we're gonna lift it up. Oh, mine's broken a bit. Roll it out again. Now you need to keep rolling it until you decide how thick you want your creations to be. To stop them breaking, it's always a good idea to keep them quite thick. Now, if your rolling pin starts to stick to your dough, grab a bit of your flour and just spread it on the top, and that'll stop it sticking like it did on mine. There we go. That's perfect for mine. Now I'm going to get my cutter, give it a wiggle. Going to do a few stars. And I've got a butterfly as well. Put in, give it a wiggle. Now you can peel off the extra. Carefully pick up your shapes. And we've got our star shapes. Now what you want to do with your shapes is you want to put them to one side, maybe on a plate, and let them dry. And you need to give them a few days to dry. And then after that, you'll be able to paint them. Perhaps you want to make decorations for your house, or you might want to make a present for Mummy and Daddy. That's completely up to you. Now you can see I've got some salt dough left over here. So another activity we like to do with our salt dough, let me move these bits out of our way, is we're gonna roll it out again. I'm gonna pop some more flour on. Remember, you want to keep them quite thick. Another activity you could do is you could get your hand and you could push it in to the dough. Hopefully it doesn't stick. And you could do a lovely handprint. And you could then shape around the edge. And this could be a great present as well, couldn't it? I'm gonna push it down. So again, with this one, you're gonna have to let it dry. But once you've dried it, you could paint your hand one colour, and you could paint around the edge a different colour. And that is how we make our salt dough. See you soon.